Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, good Saturday morning here. We got to talk loud because Steve McCadams is on the water. You can hear him. Oh, there's his music. Turn it up. Turn it up. Smoke on the water. There it is. Steve, look at this. Oh, man, he's dancing in his boat right now. His clients are going crazy. All right,
I can barely hear you guys, so we'll just talk fishing anyway.
Well, we can barely hear you, and we'll only get the good part. All right, you're on the water.
We're out here where we got a lot of wind, but we're catching a few crappie in spite of it here. It's kind of a warm day and finally warming up after a cold front, but we've had a lot of inclement weather and a lot of wind this year, so we're hanging in there, but we're right on the verge of spawn, so things are picking up. Okay,
we're going to talk crappie fishing with Steve McCadams. You've been doing it for how many years?
My 40th year.
40th year. Did y'all hear that? He started.
40th year. I don't know where the other 39 went.
Well, he started when he was 12, so that's the way it goes right there. So 40 years. And
we're just hanging in there, and they keep me humble, though.
Well, a humble man. We just talked to Sam Heaton a while ago, talking about the changes in crappie fishing since you started and where it is now. Talk a little bit about the evolution of crappie fishing.
Well, I think that probably the main thing that's happened is the technology, on sonar equipment.
There you go.
That has changed so much. GPS and side scan units, and the technology is just so much better for crappie anglers than it was a few years ago. And well, that's probably helped the average angler as much as anything.
And I know Steve is a guide. How many days on the water are you?
Well, I'm 6 days a week this time of year, March through June. I fish about 6 days a week. I let them rest on Sunday, but still fighting it. I'm starting to take a day off a little more than I used to years ago. But
well, you're 70. You're 78, right? I mean,
I feel like it sometimes. 63, but I feel like I'm 78 someday.
Well, the sport has been good to you. Did you see the more popularity? Talking about the professional side of it, we just talked to Ronnie Camps. And you're an outdoor writer and a communicator. Talk about the side of crappie fishing that's gone professional.
I'm not sure I heard the entire question, Larry, but I think he's asking about the professionalism.
Yes.
It's increased on the tournament circuit. When Jim Perry and I won the Crappie Classic back in '96, it was pretty good payback then, and it's still good now. But I think there's more people fishing competitively than there were 20 years ago, so the sponsorship has improved, and it's more tournament, more sponsorship than there was back several years ago. So I think it continues to grow in popularity in that regard. It'll probably never be the level that bass fishing is, but it has improved quite a bit.
And Bill Cooksey's sitting here, and he fishes South Kentucky Lake, he tells us.
Uh-huh.
And do you have a question for McAdams here?
You tell him to stay down there too, because I don't really.
Whoa, there we go,
Steve. I was advocating for y'all's into the lake.
Yeah,
or where I said people forget.
There's so much diversity. Down south of here, it's like a river system. When you get to the upper third, from about New Johnsonville on, it widens out to like a reservoir. So it's really two fishers in one. I mean, you got a river system and you got a lake reservoir scenario here where we are. So quite a bit of diversity here.
Well, we just ran in. We had Tim Huffman on the show talking about the top 50 crappie lakes in the United States. He's got Kentucky Lake number 4. Steve, I know you fished a lot of Kentucky Lake. Top 4 in the nation. What do you think about that?
Once again, I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I'm not getting all your questions, but you're talking about good crappie lakes, I guess.
Yes.
And we're still holding on. We've had some weak year classes here for 2 or 3 years, and we're coming back out of the slump. But lakes like Grenada and Enid and Sardis, Kentucky Lake and Pickwick, we're so fortunate in this region, though, to have some of the best crappie lakes in the country. And there's years when we're better than others just because of year classes and weather, lake levels and things that change. But you go to other parts of the country, and they really don't have the crappie reservoirs that we have around here. So we're very lucky.
No, and I know one thing. What about the new size limits?
Creel limit,
yeah.
Well, we just started 1st of March, and we're glad to see it, really. I think this time had come, and it spreads the fish out among the fishermen a little bit more. So Kentucky had already had a 20 creel limit on their end of Kentucky Lake, and several other states and other lakes across the country now have reduced creel limits and higher length limits than they did years ago. So I think the public has accepted it pretty good up here. You'll never get 100% approval rating, I guess, on it, but by and large, I think most anglers are well satisfied with it. They've adjusted quite well.
All right, I'm going to ask you this. What is a slab crappie to Steve McCadams?
Well, I'd say 1.5 pound fish on up, generally speaking. That there's no official weight, but, about 1.5 pound fish on up is very much above average. That's what we consider a slab.
And what is the biggest crappie you've caught?
I've had a couple of fish over 3 pounds in my 40-year career, but not many. And we had a 3.22 taken about 2 weeks ago.
That's right.
In the area. But you hear about a few here, not as many as the Mississippi lakes, but we still get a 3 pound plus fish occasionally. Well,
do you think is there a fish out there, and what lake would you think? I know you're partial to Kentucky Lake for the world record. Where would you think the next world record might be caught?
I would say probably some of the Mississippi lakes.
That's
I
right.
think they've got a little bit longer growing season, and that dingy water there is more conducive to those big white crappies. So I'd say Grenada, Sardis, Enid, or Aka Butler, and some of those probably stand to be right in there.
All right, folks, if they need to get in touch with you, Steve, tell us how to get in touch with you.
Yeah, the best way to reach me is my website, SteveMcAdams.com.
And, buddies, if you want a fishing report, Steve can give you a fishing report.
It's a good one.
It's a good one,
Absolutely.
All right, buddy, go back and catch fish, and we'll talk to you probably next month sometime, okay?
Great to be with you guys again. Call me anytime. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Steve McCadams on the water. Can
I'll
you
tell you,
imagine?
he's
63 years old, been doing it 40 years.
I think it's a recording because that's the way it sounds every time I call Steve.
Well, he's always on the water, whether it's summer,
he is at home
spring,
sometime, but
fall or winter.
to be doing this 40 years as a guide, and everybody thinks, boy, that's a wonderful life. Well, it depends on who's on the boat with you.
It's a tough life.
Sometimes
right.
you're stuck. Right?
That's why Long's going to guide Nina, and I'm going turkey hunting.
That's true.
a good deal.
We've already mentioned that and everything. Let me tell you about next week's show before we close out here and talk a little bit with these guys. Of course, Frank Barton will be in here with the Barton Power Sports, and we'll find out what's the latest on the new store. It's right over here on Mount Moriah. It's only less than a mile over here, and we hope to find out about that. And listen, speaking of new stores, you need to go by Stage Road and see the Primary Tackle Company. David Best is opened. He opened last Saturday. Huge crowd. Had him on the show here, and go by. It's right across the street from the Crystal, right there next to Sheridan's, and you can eat. They have some ice cream. Get your hair cut right next door to that.
Are you buying me some ice cream?
Go to church on the other side and look at his facility. He's got meeting room capacity, but if you want fishing lures, this is the place to go. It's really nice. Just opened on Saturday. But next week's show, we're going to have the one and only, the first tight end ever inducted in the NFL Hall of Fame. Our friend Jackie Smith is going to be on the show to talk about Hobie boats, and they've really come out with some cool little boats. Josh Lance at Traditions Media is going to talk about his company. They've just hooked up with ScentLock. And everybody knows ScentLock, and they've got some new outerwear. I'm talking about socks. You think about that. They've now got ScentLock socks. So, I wonder how that's going to work.
I'm just trying to decide if it's a good idea or not.
At
the end of the day.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. We'll find out at the end of the day. And then hope to talk to Bobby Cole, our good friend who's written another book out of Mossy Oak. Anybody know He is
incredible writer.
Yeah, and great writer. This is his fourth book. I got the other three, and this that mule. I can't remember the name of it. One of them is
The Rented Mule.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but Bobby Cole, he's the man from
Biologic.
From them. We're trying to hook up with him, and then we're going to have world champion turkey caller Chris Parrish. It's always great to talk to Chris, and he's going to talk.
Pretty good caller.
Yeah, really good caller. Yeah, I couldn't get him on our turkey show, but we're going to get him on here because we'll talk a little bit about calling for judges and calling for real birds. And we've kind of discussed that in waterfowl because there is what we call meat callers.
Yeah.
And then there's the other professional type colors and everything. So
and same deal in Turkey.
yeah, and Wong now. Let's see. Now you have been. Where are you going to be now? You're going to.
I am leaving
right after
Monday
the show.
morning.
Monday morning. You're going.
I hope Monday morning.
Yeah, you better.
I'm waiting on a package from a company so I can help put together swag bags.
I hope you can, because
for Gaston's White River Resort. I'll be there for at least 3 days.
Yep.
With you, Larry, I can't wait. Boy, what a great time that always is. Today, as soon as I get out of here, I'll be going to Paris Landing State Park to cover the FLW Collegiate qualifying tournament.
He's amazing.
And then the following weekend, I forgot where I'm going to be.
You'll be someplace.
I'll be somewhere.
Maybe you'll be at Rolo. What's that lake where you live on?
Robco.
Robco.
I've forgotten what it looks like.
Yeah, you've forgotten what it looks like.
But I'll have to tell you, go out to LROutdoors.com, see the great coverage that we were able to provide for the Bassmaster Classic.
Yep, it was great.
We've done some great stuff. You know, we had Jordan Lee on the radio show.
Yeah, we're hoping to get him on.
We'll have him on hopefully later on this month.
Yes,
He's out right now.
Yeah.
Fishing at Toledo Bend in another elite tournament, so we couldn't get him on for this show.
Well, we're going to have him. We're going to have Ott Defoe, who caught almost a 10-pounder at the Classic.
Yeah, and we talked to Ott, got some pictures.
Got
out
a great
on
interview with Ott. So, and of course, Bill's been to Gaston's.
Absolutely.
It's a nice place. You
Wonderful
know that?
place. Been going for years.
Yeah.
20 years now.
20 years.
I can't wait to eat.
Well, there we go.
Shore lunch.
All right, we got to get out of here. Don't forget, we'll be back with Frank Barton next. The shore lunch is really great at Gaston's. I will tell that for anybody. Before I go, I want to let the folks know out there, covet your prayers. My brother, oldest son, passed away 2 days ago, and so I don't know if I'll be able to. I might have to miss some of the Gaston's. We don't have the arrangements there yet, but had to handle that, and so
prayers be with the family.
Yeah, it's a tough time for my brother over in Little Rock. So anyway, this is Larry Ray. Remind you, I do each and every week. It doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport, and what? God bless
the USA.
The USA.
You can find out